All right, what's up, guys? So we're about to listen to Myron and his brother Ryad kind of just talk about the news a little bit. So let's just get into it.
Was rambunctious like that because the Chancellor of Germany had expressed so much condemnation for the war and said he's not really interested in being involved.
Actually, let's go to Myron's video. There we are. Let's go to his.
Kind of where the wind was blowing.
And they feel it's okay for Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Anybody that feels it's okay for Iran.
And he said that. He said they have their right to enrich.
To have a nuclear weapon is not very smart. And it'll be a terrible thing in the future. If they were ever allowed to have a nuclear weapon, you would have problems the likes of which the world has never seen before. And it's not going to happen. And aside from that, right now they have no Navy. It's been wiped out. No Air Force. It's been wiped out.
That was never the problem.
Yeah, that was never the
problem. And that's
problem.
why Netanyahu visited Washington 6 million times. It's because of the missiles, okay? They weren't worried about the planes that they had from the 70s. By the way, I think I spoke about it with you. There were reports that their Air Force had destroyed some assets or some U.S. bases. Is that correct that I talked about that with you, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, well, basically, one of their old fighter jets went into Kuwait and blew up a base.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, yeah, a fighter jet.
So
literally,
embarrassing.
Yeah, literally, a fighter jet went. I'll try to find the news article for you. Yeah, but like, yeah, we destroyed the Air Force so much that they went and they bombed the U.S. base in Kuwait. Let me look.
No, it's right. It's right. I read that by myself as well when I was
fuck?
streaming, but I think you were the one who told me about it. And so it's like, yeah, but look, he's right. Look, they destroyed the Air Force for the most part,
Wait,
or
hold
really
up. Clavicular sued by 304? Interesting.
entirely. They destroyed the Navy for the most part, is what I really mean. But those aren't the things that pose the threats. And they still got the speedboats that can get in the Strait of Hormuz. They still got the drones that can rain over the heads of these ships and these vessels that are trying to pass through. These aren't military people who are operating these vessels. And so it's very easy for them to disrupt that strait. We have to deter their ability to actually impose in the strait. And that only happens with a peace deal. And that's what he's not saying, of course. But yeah, those 70s planes was bombing our bases. Real embarrassing there.
Yeah, bro. Let me find it, cause yeah, bro. Like their interceptors are gone, and we're pretty much like at a very. Hold on, let me see here if this is.
Well, Qatar just paid $4 billion for more Patriot missile interceptors. We just sold them a bunch again, and that's probably us re-upping.
I might have a short right here. Let me see if I could get this.
Go for
I'll
it.
share. Actually, you know what? I know what to do.
God dang.
Go ahead. I got to move some stuff around.
Yeah, I'll keep playing. Go ahead,
Yeah.
take your time.
They have no anything. They have
Yeah, I live in the hood, guys. So you may hear sirens sometimes in the back of my videos.
no anti-aircraft. They have no radar. They have no leaders because, frankly,
Oh, they've got all those things.
their leaders are very disjointed. They have a lot of problems right now. They're not getting along with each other. Their leaders are not getting along with each other. So we raised the tariffs on cars coming in from the European Union because the European Union was not adhering to the trade deal we have. So based on that, now, when they build their plants, of which they're spending over $100 billion, all countries, not just the Union. When
right,
those
real quick,
plants
Ryad,
open, there won't be any tariffs. But
Let me see if I can share a screen real quick with you guys and show you this. Give me 1 sec.
Dude, I wish they can turn off Marine One. Like, shut the helicopter off until he's done answering questions.
Yeah,
Goodness
bro.
gracious.
It's fucking obnoxious, dude. It is so fucking obnoxious.
Straight engine and air in the background.
It's loud as hell. It's
Difficult
like,
to listen to.
bro, that's like.
This nigga's
goddamn.
toupee is about to fall off. Look at his hair, bro.
Yeah?
Nah, that's his real hair.
Shit going crazy. Okay, we got that. Okay. Okay, let me share a screen real fast with you guys. Sorry. Yeah, because I literally just jumped on. I didn't even fucking like get any of my shit ready.
Iranian F-5 fighter struck U.S. forces at a base in Kuwait after successfully getting past U.S.
I
and
know this
allied
guy.
air defenses.
Watch his videos
This is
all the time.
according to a brand new NBC report, which cites 3 U.S. officials and 2 congressional aides. This allegedly happened towards the beginning of the conflict,
And if they're admitting that,
likely in the first half of March. The Iranian fighter, originally built in the 60s, successfully conducted a bombing run on Camp Buring despite the presence of Patriot missile batteries. The report hasn't been publicly verified by the U.S. military, but
they're never going to verify it. But yeah, dude, like, and this is supposed to be like, you know, they have no Air Force, we destroyed it, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, man, like,
Yeah.
you know, and they're just withholding information from the American public. And I definitely think there's more soldiers dead than they're willing to admit. And I definitely think that there's, you know, way more injured. I think right now we're sitting at about 400 to 500 injured. It's more than that, dude. And this is an old ass jet, by the way. Just so y'all know, these are jets that came out in the fucking 70s when we were still cool with the Shah, you know? But anyway, yeah, you can go back. I'll try to see if I can find a news article as well on it. But go ahead, you keep going.
Yeah. Go ahead.
We raised the tariffs because they were not, as usual, they were not adhering to the agreement that we have. We have a trade deal with the European Union. They were not adhering to it. So I raised the tariffs on cars and trucks to 25%. That's billions of dollars coming into the United States, and it forces them to move their factory production much faster. We have right now in the United States over $100 billion of car plants being built. It's a record. We've never had anything like it from all countries: Japan, South Korea, by the way, Canada, Mexico. They're all built.
I mean, that's a good thing for America. Like, I want domestic industry to come back. I know most people wouldn't like it, especially economists, because that just increases the prices of everything, you know. So, like, if more cars are made here, the higher the price will be. If it was not made here, if it was made in China, it'd be cheaper because the labor there is cheaper, obviously. So, or Mexico, labor is cheaper there than it is in America. I said all that without, I think, breathing. But the upside is there's more jobs available. And I guess a lot of people don't realize this, but not everybody is going to be able to work, I guess, a white-collar position. And not everybody's IQ is 110 or above, you know? Like, a lot of people here in America, we are, you know, we're a first world country with smart people. But not everybody here is fucking above average IQ. That's why it's called the average. The average person IQ is what, between 90 to 100 or something? Or maybe 85 to 100 or something? So it's like, well, what are they going to do? I mean, yes, of course, they can be good, you know, extremely good at something particular. But we do need average work for average people, unless they can't do anything because, I mean, I guess sorry to say, but sometimes you're just not good enough to, you know, get degrees or like certain positions. Like some people are built to, you know, work a blue collar job, which is fine. Like I would have worked a blue collar job, you know, I probably would have been a power layman or something, or an HVAC tech when I was younger. I'm going for accounting right now, accounting and finance. I want to be a financial advisor, but if I was younger, I probably honestly would have went for that instead of joining the Army, and then kind of just paid my way through school using my current that job that I would have had, because it would already paid a lot anyway. And I don't know, maybe I would have changed my mind and kind of tried to open my own HVAC business or whatever. But let's get back to it.
Big plants in the United States, but the European Union was not adhering to the deal that we made. As you know, it's a very disjointed, unfriendly leadership, unfriendly to each other. They're not getting along.
Ironically enough, right, and we always say this, they're actually not disjointed. Their claims have been consistent regardless whoever is the one that's actually making them, whether it's the parliament speaker or Abbas Araghchi. Those have been the most front-facing leaders in this conflict, especially when it comes to the delegation of peace talks. But they're asking for the same things over and over again, and they've kind of had the same requests ever since the ceasefire took place in the beginning of April. So they've been consistent. It's kind of been Trump that's been inconsistent, asking for different things, but ultimately it's been the nuclear thing that's kind of been the crux of all of it.
They're very, very confused by what's happened because essentially most of their military has been wiped out. But we just had a conversation with Iran. Let's see what happens. But I would say that I am not happy. Their leadership is very disjointed, very argumentative with each other. They come back, one says one thing, one says another. They're very confused. Obviously, their country has been, frankly, decimated. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Many of their soldiers, unfortunately, are gone. They've got to come up with the right deal. At this moment, I'm not satisfied with what they're doing.
Yeah, so, and there's a couple of different sources that are providing this, by the way, too. If you, here, let me, you know what? Let me show you guys this real quick.
Yeah, I'm reading it here. Vintage Iranian Northrop F-5 light fighter reportedly strikes U.S. base in Kuwait.
Yeah, so yeah, there, and you can see here, Iranian Air Force.
Bro, what an F5? Bro, that airplane that's a trainer fighter jet. That's insane, dude. Bro, fucking Patriot systems trash.
Third generation fighter jet successfully conducted a bombing run against Camp Buehring in Kuwait, penetrating multi-layered U.S. and U.S. supplied Kuwaiti air defenses, which had.
They also could have flew pretty low, close to the mountains, and then at sea level, obviously. So, and then popped up at the end just to drop the bombs.
Raised serious questions regarding the security of American and allied military facilities, both in the Middle East and globally. So, I mean, this is an old ass jet, dude, and the fact that they're able to do this is kind of crazy. And this is what the fighter jet looks like. And Iran does not have like a powerful air force whatsoever, Chad. Okay, like their air force and their navy is a joke compared to ours, and it's very expensive. That's why they went with a more cost-effective ballistic missile and drone program.
F5. It's an F5 Tiger. I think.
You know, it's way cheaper and easier to use rockets and drones, right? Obviously, fighter jets are great for accuracy and you guys, but pilots are expensive and so are fighter jets. So, it is what it is. But we can go back to this. I'll take this down.
Well, I guess we're looking at it. If we can do it, we'll do it, but only if it's a good deal.
Claiming that they're preparing to shut down this weekend because they haven't gotten.
Well, we're looking at it, but if we can't make a good deal, no institution's been able to do it. I said, I'd like to save the jobs, but we'll have an announcement sometime today. We gave them a final
Mr. President, day 60, are you going to seek congressional authorization?
Well, no other country has ever done it. It's never been in, as you know, most people consider it totally unconstitutional. Also, we had a ceasefire, so that gives you additional time. But no other country's done it. We're in the midst of a big victory. This is a victory like we haven't had since Venezuela, okay, to be honest with you. We haven't had, but...
And by the way, what he's referring to is the War Powers Resolution, which is something Congress has power of enacting on the 60th day of a conflict. Of course, that's imposed by the executive branch. So Donald Trump started Operation Epic Fury. Officially, it was started on March 1st or March 2nd. Now we have reached that 60-day mark. It's Friday, May 1st. And so they have the ability congressionally to kind of veto the war and pull U.S. troops out of the region if they win the vote. And so that's why yesterday, Donald Trump on paper suspended the conflict or said that it's no longer active so that Congress didn't have a feasible ability. Yeah.
He said it yesterday.
Was it today? Okay, I thought it was yesterday.
And today. I don't know if he said it yesterday too, but I know today he definitely said, yeah, the war's over, so there's no need.
And it's a loophole, right? And Senate was probably going to be able to overturn it, but I don't think he wanted to run the risk because Republicans are shifting a little bit in the House and the Senate. They're kind of starting to become frustrated with the war. And so I think there was a little bit of concern from the administration. Hey, maybe we ought to just say front-facingly that this is over so we don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, even then, Israel can just poke the bear, and then we have more than enough of an excuse to get back into the region. It doesn't take a lot. This is a fragile situation, so it really doesn't take a whole lot for us to get back involved. That War Powers Resolution thing, that was, I think, from 1973 for the Vietnam conflict. It's really not that powerful. If Donald Trump wanted to go back to war, he could have.
Yeah, no, and the other thing too is, he has a bunch of guys in the region. What, we got 60,000 troops over there, if I'm not mistaken, now, and he mobilized a bunch of other people, and I know a lot of people got orders as well that they're going to deploy. So
recently,
So I don't know.
I've heard some things. Yeah. Another set of strikes would just be, and I said this the other day. Another set of strikes would be really stupid. And the reason why is,
it would be.
Yeah, maybe it motivates Iran to come to the table, but ultimately the reason why it's dumb, it's not even for Iran's sake. It's stupid because, again, these Gulf countries are going to suffer as a result, and that worsens our influence in the region. Very simple.
Yeah, because everything that happens is going to get us. Everything that we do is going to get our allies in the region completely cooked.
Exactly. And so Trump says later on at some point in this one, I'll play it in this moment, that Central Command said that they could obliterate them if he wanted them to, and they gave the offer. I don't know how true that really is. I think that everybody realizes further strikes would subsequently result in the Gulf being destroyed. It's a bad idea, and we've seen that for the first 40 days before the ceasefire started. So he's going to mention that in a moment.
You know, we have a country that lost its way, really lost its way. That's our country in terms of the military. Now we have a great military. We're on our way to another victory, a big victory, and I don't think that it's constitutional what they're asking for. These are not patriotic people that are asking. You know, when they say, even the losers, even the ones that say all the wrong things, admit that it's been amazing what we've done. The strait is totally shut down. It's flawless. It's totally 100% shut down. Now, we've been dealing with Iran. They want to make a deal. They're not there. They're not with it.
I mean, if they want to make a deal, why didn't they show up to Pakistan last week and the week before? You know, they were allegedly on the way, and then they didn't go, and they said it's a waste of time. The parliament speaker said, we're not going to show up because the United States has demands that are simply not realistic for us, so we're not even going to waste our time. So it's really not that they're desperate for a deal. They would love the right deal, but until that comes into fruition, they're not willing to talk. And this is what he omits every time.
No, I was gonna say I think they might have talks with the blockade still in place. From what I understood, Iran is willing to come to the table and talk to them now with the blockade in place. I saw a couple people report. I saw Mario report it, and then I saw when I looked it up myself. It seems as though it is. Let me see what other sources are saying this, because that is a big concession if they're still willing to come to the table with the blockade in place. But I think they want security assurances that they don't get attacked again.
Yeah. I see here out of Al Jazeera, Iran's top diplomat, or the foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, said Tehran remains open to diplomacy if Washington stops its, quote, expansionist approach and threatening rhetoric. So potentially, yeah. And that would be nice, right? But it's just Donald Trump making the matter worse than it needs to be. And this is, of course, him posturing, and he doesn't want to look weak because we've gotten nothing done. So he at least has to make it look like we made Iran fold.
Yeah,
and it's like
kind of this huge strategic failure.
Yeah, and so it's this damage control, like who folds first, and Donald Trump is desperate to make them fold first. So he'll keep up that blockade as long as he needs to until Iran makes some sort of concession. And I think they see that from their side too. We'll see what happens, but yeah, let's hope that's the case. I mean, this weekend maybe there will be something going on, but as of right now, I don't see any U.S. delegation in place to head out. But can't they just do this on the phone at this point? I mean,
yeah,
that long
ridiculous
Islamabad all to not make an agreement. Yeah, it's kind of silly.
They get close, and then a new group of people come in. They don't know who their leaders are. They have no idea who their leaders are, but they're very confused.
They know who their leaders are, bro.
And that's because of the success we've had military.
What's that?
I hate when he says that shit because it's like, bro, you know who the leaders are, man. You're just on some fucking bullshit. You know who the leaders are.
He has to make it seem that way. You know, he has to make it seem like we did so much damage, but really they got a lot of their leadership left. And Mujtaba Khomeini, he said in a statement just not too long ago, and I can pull it up, that, you know, they're not going to make any concessions on the uranium. You know, they're not going to make any sort of concession on the uranium, and they're not going to actually come to the table to have some sort of talk about removing it from their soil, which is what J.D. Vance had initially proposed when he was there a couple weeks ago, to relocate the uranium and drop the enrichment to a level that is, I don't even think, capable of powering a power plant.
Yep.
So, you know, he condemned that.
They essentially have no military.
Well, they've got a military. That's why you haven't struck them, because the Gulf is next.
And that's why you're not invading either.
Yeah.
They definitely got a military.
What's that?
I said, no, they definitely have a military. They still got their army and everything like that, and that's why we're not invading.
Yeah.
Bro's just lying to the people, man.
They got all the forces on the ground, man. Arguably 1 million plus people on the ground ready to fight.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and they're not too happy about their power plant day jokes and shit.
Thank you very much.
Oops. Yeah, they're not.
They're sort of, they get close, and then a new group of people come in. They don't know who their leaders are. They have no idea who their leaders are, but They're very confused, and that's because of the success we've had militarily. They essentially have no military.
It's not just everyone's confused, bro. You keep flip-flopping every day. One day the war is done, another day we won the war, another day open up the strait, another day we don't need the strait. It's like, bro, he flip-flops every single day, bro. Everyone's confused. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It must be a nightmare to do diplomacy with this guy, bro. And then it's like, oh yeah, they're in the middle of diplomacy, and then they bomb him. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
And it's for two main reasons. It's one, because he's losing and he has to cope. So this is a coping mechanism. But two, and most importantly, it's so he can manipulate the stock market and the oil prices. And that's what he's been doing effectively. You know, that's why Brent crude has been so volatile, despite the fact that the Strait of Hormuz has remained blocked entirely, with short moments previously where it was opened. But realistically, over the course of the last 50 or 60 days, oil has been completely choked for the most part in regards to the Strait of Hormuz. But Trump has still been able to kind of keep it below 120 because of the fact that he's alluding to peace. And then he says, peace is tomorrow. And then he says, they don't have military leadership. And then he says, we destroyed everybody and they don't know what to do. And then he says, oh, they're talking nice now. And that's kind of a manipulation as well. And he's been doing that on Truth Social. But it's like the boy who cried wolf. How long is that going to work?
Yeah.
You know,
no, and it's not working as much. Because if you notice, it doesn't go down as much.
Are concerned. Exactly. It has not dropped. Because previously, Donald Trump, in the beginning of April, said, we are very close to making a deal. And what happened? S&P 500 at all-time high. NASDAQ was up. Oil prices dropped to, I believe, around 91, almost in the 80s at one point, or it was 88. And so his claims and his promises were actually making a dent. Now, if he tries to make those same claims, and this is what all the experts are saying, it's not going to have the same effect. No one's going to believe it as much as they did initially. And this is going to cause for a lot more issues and a lot more pressure on his neck, which is why everybody believes maybe strikes will come next to make Iran concede. But I just say...
Yeah, I heard that he's supposed to make some strikes. I mean, once the market's closed and after hours is closed, like potentially tonight or tomorrow morning, you know, we'll hear about it. So...
Can we please let go of the blockade on their ports? It's not doing much anyways. Allegedly 34 plus ships have passed through. That's alleged. Some of them pose as Iraqi ships to get through, as non-Iranian ships. All of these reports I'm seeing. So it's like, are we even choking them as much as we say we are? And on Sunday, Trump said their oil pipeline is going to blow up because of our blockade. And so they're going to have to close it. It's going to cause this logistic issue, and it's going to be a big explosion Wednesday morning. You wait and see. Wednesday morning comes, absolutely nothing happens. Now we moved on to Friday, and the parliament speaker on Wednesday had tweeted, Mohammed Ghalibaf, he said, no explosion happened, and he continued to mock the president. And so it's like all these claims, they work in the beginning, but you got to get somewhere here. You know, you can't keep it straddling along. At some point, no one's going to believe you, and you're really going to look like a loser, at least to mainstream media, right? Because he's painting it like we have this upper hand, but as this goes on and on and on, we get to June, we get to July, everybody's going to start to wake up and go, something's fishy here. Obviously, we've woken up, and a lot of people who are watching know what's going on, but a lot of the general populace still really doesn't have a clue as to how detrimental this is for the United States.
Yeah, and it's like you said, the boy that cried wolf is really the main thing here, because every time, and keep in mind, guys, we got 400 million barrels of oil that was deployed strategically at the beginning of this crisis, right? So, you know, we still haven't really gotten the hit yet, assuming this conflict continues on. Like, once that oil is done for, you know, and the war looks like it continues on, we're talking about even more price hikes. This is with 400 million barrels of oil literally deployed from the IEA.
Yep, absolutely.
And the True Social Post.
Really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Really quick, chats. I only have 3. Here's a free.
Yeah, like the United States only uses the United States uses basically 20 to 20.5 million barrels of petroleum per day, according to 2023 EIA fucking oil consumption tracker. So that shit's only good for 20 days, but it also still didn't stabilize the prices, because if you're releasing the oil supply, why did prices still go up? And then Trump always says, well, Trump and like his other people say, well, we don't really like get oil from the Strait of Hormuz. Well, then why the fuck is oil prices going up then here in America? That doesn't make any fucking sense. You know, West Texas oil, like, why is it up? I think it's like at $97, or maybe it's back down to like 90 or something, whatever the fucking price is. Why the fuck is West Texas, you know, instruments up if we don't get our oil from there? It doesn't make any fucking sense. So,
Donation voucher. Thank you so much, 13th. I appreciate it. Sheila Jamo, thank you for the $20. She says, appreciate you guys for the breakdowns on this conflict. It is incredible how many people have been misinformed by MSM. Hearing you guys grill Shin Bet Star of David is funny too. Yeah, we gotta hold these people accountable who are wrong. You know, these people have large audiences, so it's not about being petty and attacking them, but we just have to debunk the lies. 13th also says, work hard, save, and then invest. Yes, thank you so much. And then 13th has another donation. Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate the love. All right, let's get back.
Let me just tell you, the war powers. So many presidents, as you know, have gone and exceeded it. It's never been used. It's never been adhered to, and every other president considered it totally unconstitutional, and we agree with it.
That's true. That's true. And the president is commander-in-chief, and so that War Resolution Act, you can argue, is a little bit unconstitutional, whatever. But the whole idea is that the government is balanced, right? And so it makes sense on paper if the president starts a stupid war and stays involved in it out of a matter of pride, which is kind of what we're seeing now, or whatever other case like Vietnam or others, it gives Congress the ability to override that. And that's what Congress exists for, to kind of check that executive power. But it's very easy for Trump or any other president to kind of work around that. And I mean, I saw you were talking, I just want to ask you, you were talking to Alex about this, and Alex Jones, of course, and it was a great interview. You were dropping a lot of bombshells, but how frustrating is it that the last 3 weeks have just been this like redundant, like I just feel like I'm losing my mind talking about this. Not that it's not important, but it's like ceasefire, talks, no deal, ceasefire, talks, no deal, nuclear, then nuclear is off the table. And it's just like a vicious cycle. Something's got to give here, you know, at some point. I don't know if there's going to be a strike. I don't know if Iran is going to do something different. They have made threats to maybe hurl attacks at some of these vessels that belong to the United States. Mujtaba Khamenei released a threat the other day and said, we're going to sink these U.S. vessels to the bottom of the ocean. And so, like, you know, you just wait for something to kind of fork this consistency, but it's been nauseating to see that we've gotten nowhere. I mean, it's been a month now that the ceasefire has taken place, which is great, but there's been literally no progress. And hopefully we're on the way to that with some of the things that you were just saying.
From our perspective, there's been no progress because it's like, you know, and I think this is why they changed the objectives like on day one. And they said, oh yeah, we're going to destroy their Navy, we're going to destroy their Air Force. Well, let's be honest, dude. Like, those things weren't a threat from the beginning. You're just saying this so that you can have strategic W's that you can go, you know, report to the American people. It's kind of like prosecutors. What they'll do is they'll have charges that they really want, but then they'll have like some safe charges that no matter what happens, you know, rain, hail, or shine, they're going to have those charges. Like, you look at Diddy, right? Diddy, they charged him with sex trafficking in RICO. They knew that was very ambitious. So what they did was they had what I call like safety charges. Like, hey, you know, we're going to hit him with interstate transportation of prostitutes. Because they know they can prove that all day, every day. The barrier to entry is low. Same exact thing here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get involved in this ambitious war, but we're going to, you know, have these objectives in place that we know that we can accomplish. That's why they went so aggressively. We're trying to destroy the fighter jets and the vessels. Which, by the way, a lot of the fighter jets they thought they destroyed were really just like painted on images. And the CENTCOM was like posting it like they were really destroying the fighter jets. So that was pretty funny. But they wanted to have these easy objectives there, but they knew the real objectives: stopping them from funding the proxies, stopping them from enriching altogether, and then obviously trying to get them to stop their ballistic missile program or have it where it's only 300 kilometers. These were the real threats that they needed to kind of deal with. And they knew that they wouldn't be able to do that up front. That's why they didn't state them as like real objectives in the beginning, even though it's very important that you guys understand this. The war was first fought because they said, look, we're not going to negotiate with Iran unless they stop funding the proxies, bring the ballistic missiles down to 300 kilometers, and stop enrichment altogether. These three things, or else we're going to have a war. Iran said, no, we're not even going to bother with the ballistic missile program or anything. The only thing we'll talk to you guys about is nuclear. That's the only thing. We're not going to talk to you guys about proxies, and we're not going to talk to you guys about our ballistic missile program, because these are the only things that keep us safe from you guys attacking us. When they did that, that's when Trump went ahead and attacked them. Then once they attacked, what did they do? They changed the, you know, strategic objectives so they can have some W's that they could put up on the game board. And it's very important people understand this. The Navy and the Air Force was never a threat ever. It was always the proxies, ballistic missile program, and enrichment. And Iran refused to not be able to enrich because they look at it like, hey, it's our sovereign right, it's a sovereign country. to be able to enrich uranium. Everyone else can enrich uranium. Why can't we? This is BS. So it's a very pride thing for them to be able to enrich uranium, because the United States had said for a while, you can enrich uranium, but you can't enrich past, 3%, 3.5%, 4%, right? And Iran had agreed to that.
Well, that's what the Iranian nuclear deal had stipulated, 3.6 or 3.7.
And they had this deal in place where they would, in exchange for letting them enrich, they would give their stockpiles up, everything else like that. And this deal was struck in Oman, right? Between Kushner and Jared Kushner, Witkoff, and obviously Aragachi and these guys when they were doing the indirect talks in Oman. And the Omani middleman went and spoke, I think it was on CBN or CBS News, and told, hey, this is what the deal was. It was a great deal, and neither the United States and neither did Iran deny that these were the terms. Both of them, no one corrected them on what he said. So what he said was true. Hey, they had a good deal in place. It was really a lot of advance. It was, we progressed quite a bit. And, it would have been a better deal than the JCPOA because there was no stockpiling involved. The JCPOA allowed for stockpiling to a degree. They were willing to completely not have any stockpiles. So this deal would have been better. But again, like I said before, it was never up. The uranium and the enrichment and the nuclear program, that is the domestic lie that our administration tells us to justify the war because they know they can sell that to the American people. They cannot sell stopping the proxy. Exactly. They cannot sell stopping the proxies who are in a danger to us in the Middle East. They cannot sell the ballistic missile program that can't touch us over here. So they have to use the nuclear angle. This is why Trump fucking repeats it ad nauseum. Oh, they can't have a nuclear bomb. They can't have a nuclear bomb. They can't have a nuclear bomb. And most people are not aware of how uranium enrichment works. So what they do is, right, and this is how they deceive you guys. What they say is this. Okay, we know the American public, if we say nuclear and that these guys are crazy, that'll work for us. But what they don't say is, Iran is totally willing to, give up nuclear weapon ambitions, but they want to enrich at a lower level. And a lot of Americans don't understand how the uranium process works. And then Marco Rubio and these other guys, what they'll say all the time is, there's no need to enrich to 60%. What they won't tell you is the only reason they enriched to 60% was so that they can negotiate and use that 60% enriched uranium as a bargaining tool to alleviate the sanctions. That was always...
Yeah, and also, how can you complain? I was thinking about this in the car. I was like, how can you complain about the Iranians enriching to 60% uranium, saying they can't have a nuclear weapon, when Obama himself instituted the JCPOA and had the ability for us to inspect their enrichment levels in their fucking centrifuges or reactors, depending on what kind of material they're using to, create a nuclear weapon, plutonium or fucking uranium, use a centrifuge. Reactors, I think, are used for plutonium. But Trump was saying it was a bad deal, but I'm still trying to understand how it's a bad deal. It's like you had the ability to see what they were doing. And if you say it's a bad deal, why the fuck would you drop out of just nix it altogether? Like, you renegotiate the deal. You don't just drop out of it and then complain later on that they're trying to get a nuclear weapon. It's like, well, motherfucker, you dropped out of the fucking deal that you guys had and then you expect them not to get a nuclear weapon? That doesn't make any fucking sense. I was trying to think that in my head. And, I'm assuming his argument, he said his argument was it was a bad deal and I guess they're rich and higher. Well, motherfucker, then make a better deal. Be like, you motherfuckers, I don't know, are hiding centrifuges in Fordo and Isfahan and Natanz or whatever. We want to fucking get in there. We can see it on our satellites that you guys are enriching uranium there. We want to get in there. If they're like, no, then that's fine. That's an easy sell to the public that Obama created a good deal. So now you're getting the Democrats on your side, the liberals, stating that Obama did a very good deal. And now these fucking Iranians aren't holding up on their bargain or on their side of the deal to let us come in there and see how high they're enriching. That's all Trump had to do. Just renegotiate the deal and come to a deal. And then say, hey, I know you don't want to, Trump. I know he hates it. But if your main concern is a nuclear and they had it, I'm sure, like Myron just said, just relieve the sanctions. And let's say we're going to fucking pour concrete in all your shit. We're going to pour concrete. You need to pour concrete into the fucking all those fucking secret nuclear facilities, and then we'll lift sanctions off you like half, I don't know, 50% sanctions. I'm sure they would have gladly taken that deal. Gladly. But let's continue.
More of a deterrent / a trading bargaining chip rather than them actually working towards really trying to get a nuclear bomb. So
they could have created one.
They could have
Let's be
created
honest.
one.
They could have made one a long time ago. And they had religious rulings not to create one by the leader who is now dead and has been succeeded by his more extreme son that will probably race to a nuke if a deal is not met in the next 5 or 6 weeks. And so we've made the matter worse. And something very important to add as well, that's great. And in everything you said is actually, that's probably the best, like very concise way of explaining the matter from the beginning to the end. Something important as well to note, all of the issues that Iran proposes, at least to the world, it's really not to the world, it's to Israel, right? Their proxy network, that all threatens Israel. Their missiles program, that all threatens Israel. It only now threatened the Gulf countries because we attacked them and they needed a means to fight back. And so they hit our bases, military bases, in those countries. And so when you look at it top to bottom, you could even argue from the nuclear point as well, and can concede here, the only reason that Iran would ever obtain a nuke and use it wouldn't be against the United States, it would be against Israel. And so all of this is, of course, for Netanyahu. That's why he was in Washington and Mar-a-Lago so many times since Trump got into office in 2024. And we use the pretext of the nuclear bomb because that sounds attractive to the American ear or to the regular person, like, oh man, we can't let these crazy Muslims have bombs, right? Marco Rubio always says, oh, they're crazy Shia clerics, and J.D. Vance said they can't have a dirty bomb. They echo the same idea and the same rhetoric, but really they were never going to make one. And that's something that when I say it, MAGA people get so angry, but it's like, you don't have an understanding of the situation. You don't know what hedging is. You don't have any idea about mutually assured destruction. What Iran was doing was ensuring they can maintain their sovereignty. The United States violated that despite them enriching close to weapons grade, which would be 90%. And so just at the 60% that got them attacked, well then now if there's no deal made, they're going to try and really make a bomb or get a lot closer. Because if the 60% wasn't protecting them, the only thing, I'm sorry?
No, I said, and that's assuming they don't already have one right now.
Already have one, yeah. And if they don't, they're racing. And that's what all the experts are saying, right? Scott Horton, Robert Pate. If there's any time that Iran is going to race to a nuke, it would be now. So we made the matter so much worse. And even if we get a peace deal or whatever, who knows what they're doing behind closed doors? Do you think they're going to trust us anymore? Definitely not under this administration. So even if they sign some sort of deal or say that we're done, it'd probably be a lie or done in bad faith because they know the United States could attack them at any moment, and Trump still has another 2 years in office. Plenty of time.
Yeah, no,
to resume this war.
And
Yeah,
Battlefall, thank you so much for the 35 gifted, bro. Thank you. Shout out to you, Red Pill Clipper. Shout out to you guys gifting the subs. All you brokies in the chat, make sure to say I'm a brokey and or say, I put the fries in the bag. Red Pill Clippers, Ace Tone, What's Up 101, 1234 Jeffrey, Handy Andy, that's a crazy name, Gaben, Sim 97. Shout out to all you guys with the gift the subs. Appreciate you guys so much, man. I'm happy to be back, by the way. But yeah, it's very important. Thank you, man. But it's very important for you guys to understand like how the dynamic changed and how they're lying to you and how they're trying to sell this war to you. The reason why they use the nuclear bomb, and Trump always says they can't have a nuclear bomb, these guys are crazy, etc. It's all framing to make it look like, hey, these guys are crazy clerics that if they get a nuclear bomb, the United States is in danger. The reality is that the Iranians are far more measured and reserved than the Israelis are. And to be honest with you, they'd probably be less reckless with a nuclear bomb than the Israelis. Don't forget, guys, that the Israelis have a completely illegal nuclear program that they stole from us, and they purposely don't, keep it strategic. It's called strategic ambiguity is their strategy, because they know that if they were to come out and talk about and actually use the nuclear bomb, whatever, we would not be able to give them foreign aid the way that we do because we have a law in place where anyone that illegally proliferates nuclear weapons can't get military or aid in general. So this is why they exercise this strategic ambiguity. But do not let these guys fool you, man. Trump uses the nuclear angle because he knows that people that are foolish, most Americans are stupid. Most Americans don't understand how nuclear bombs are made. They don't understand that there's two different routes to get to it, and uranium enrichment is one way, and then you obviously have a nuclear reactor, which is the other way. And they don't understand that the Iranians only enrich to 60% because we pulled out of the JCPOA. Had we not pulled out of the JCPOA, they would have never needed to and never enriched to 60%. It was only when we went back on our agreement, on our deal, right, that they said, you know what, these guys can't be trusted. We're going to start enriching uranium at a higher level because these guys are going to be aggressive at us. Because you guys got to remember, this didn't just happen in a vacuum. First, Obama, 2015, Obama and John Kerry strike the nuclear deal, right? It took them 2 years to come up with that nuclear deal, by the way. It was an enormous amount of work that they put in. Once they get it, Trump comes in, 3 years later, pulls them out of the JCPOA. Mike Pompeo designates the IRGC as a foreign terrorist organization. Heavy sanctions come back. So in their mind, they're like, oh, wow, these guys pulled out the deal, and now they're trying to, destroy us via sanctions, and they just labeled the IRGC as a terrorist organization. Why is that important? That's important because once you label the IRGC as a terrorist organization, that allows Trump and the U.S. government in general to more aggressively target and go after the IRGC. Then they killed Soleimani in 2020. So at this point, they're like, okay, these guys are planning to attack us. There's a lot of aggression here.
Soleimani was the head of the Axis of Resistance, just for you guys who don't know. He was the one who was in control of the proxy network and created it.
So in their mind, if you're Iran, right, if you're Iran, you strike a deal, then 3 years later, this guy comes in, pulls out the deal, labels your IRGC a terrorist organization, kills Soleimani, puts crippling sanctions back on you. Like, this is all aggression. This is damn near like acts of war. So in their mind, they're like, okay, these guys might attack us. Let's enrich to a higher level so they leave us alone. And don't forget, guys, Kim Jong-un got a nuclear bomb, right, to the condemnation of the whole world. But guess what? No one's attacking North Korea. So when you're a country...
He also doesn't have oil. I mean, for being honest, the main reason is because he doesn't have any natural resources. That's why we don't really give a fuck about North Korea. But also because he has nuclear weapons, so we just leave the dude alone.
Like Iran or one of these countries where you're dealing with aggressive Israelis, the United States, the only thing really that could protect you is a nuclear bomb. This is why they enriched to 60%. So don't fall for the hasbara that they tell you on Fox News where, oh, they're crazy clerics, they want to get a nuclear bomb, blah, blah, blah. The only reason they were even trying to get a nuclear bomb was because of our aggression, right? And they never tell you the full story, Chad. They always start the story at the end. They want to get a nuclear bomb. Well, ask them, why? Oh, because they're crazy. Okay, why are they crazy? And if you actually ask them why enough, and that they're not stupid, they will have to admit that it was U.S. aggression and foreign policy that led them to that.
And also, that in and of itself is a tell that this war's ultimate goal is regime change. And I'll tell you why. And you told Alex Jones this. Intelligence told Donald Trump before he started this operation, this is a bad idea. Because they likely knew not only that it would be an attritional war, it'd be difficult for the United States to actually remove the regime, but ultimately, and I think this was the framework from which they were coming from, if we attack Iran and they're already at 60%, if we don't remove them entirely, well, then they're going to go to 90. They're going to make a bomb. And so starting this war on the pretext of a nuke is actually what proposed or motivated them to get a nuke. And so you would think, how did we not know that? We knew that the goal was changing the regime. This was not supposed to be a 60-day conflict that ended in a ceasefire. This was supposed to be Iran is done. We were supposed to turn Iran to nothing, bring it to ashes, and bring it back up with the Iranian diaspora crowd, that crowd that is favorable of the Shah, like the Patrick Bet-Davids and others. They were supposed to take control of the country, and then Israel was supposed to do whatever they wanted in the region, and we can no longer tip our finger on the scale and have power. That was the goal. We didn't get there. Iran actually resisted. This is why we say they effectively won, especially strategically, because the whole idea was regime change. We knew we were not going to actually reduce the nuclear threat if we attack them. We were going to increase it. So the idea was to just eradicate them overall. That's something as well that a lot of people don't really realize. And of course, you would never understand that from watching Trump, front-facingly. But yeah, that's what they did. You're completely right. Qasem Soleimani, the head of the Axis of Resistance, then Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, which is the proxy group in southern Lebanon that's very close to Israel, always poses a threat to them. They killed them as well. The Pager attack fractured a lot of Lebanon, or really Hezbollah as well, and that was more psychological warfare than anything. So it was a systematic set of events, or really chronological order, to enable Israel to be able to fight this war with a little bit less difficulty, which has not even been the case. They're still fighting right now in southern Lebanon, and the IDF has sustained mass casualties, some of which the likes we haven't seen in recent history. So
yeah, we can keep playing the video.
Will Iran affect China giving blockade?
No, China, it's going to It's going to be great.
Oh, and I believe that's May 5th. I think Donald Trump is heading over to China to meet Xi
Yeah.
Jinping. So
That's
that
another
will be
reason too
very
why he
interesting.
might try to get this thing handled sooner than later as well.
Yeah.
We have the trip with China coming up, and I think it'll be an amazing event.
Can you pause it real quick? Can you pause it real quick? Guys, get your chats in now. I'm gonna read chats here in a little bit, so get your chats in now. And thank you again, Vada Falls. I see with the 10 gifted. Wait, I'm gonna read all the super chats here in a second, guys. So get your Rumble rants in or OSS chats in here a second. I'm gonna read them. Go ahead, bro. You got it.
Deal on Iran. What next? What will you do?
Well, right now we have negotiations going on. They're not getting there. They are very disjointed. They're extremely disjointed. They're not able to get along with
Just keep saying the same thing.
each other as leaders. They don't know who the leader is.
Got the Asperger's.
Their military's been defeated. If we left right now, it would take them 20 years to build back that country. But we're not satisfied at this moment.
Oh, yeah, and how about our destroyed bases? How long would it take for us to rebuild those if those Gulf countries even allow us to? Because they serve no purpose.
They're definitely we're done in the Gulf, bro. We're absolutely like the biggest. I would argue the biggest problem from this conflict is we will not. I'd be shocked if we were able to maintain any type of real military presence in the Gulf after this. And I think that UAE leaving OPEC is kind of the beginning. That's something else new that we didn't get a chance to talk about.
Say that.
Like I think
Yeah,
the UAE leaving
I covered
OPEC,
that.
people think that's a good thing. I think it's a bad thing.
No, that's likely a bad thing. And front-facingly, there is some overlap in U.S. and Arab influence or interest there. The UAE leaving OPEC. If you guys don't know what OPEC is, it's the Organization of Petroleum Exportation. It's like an intergovernmental kind of cartel operation that ensures that every single country that's responsible for drilling this oil, exporting it, is similar in price, and so that no country kind of hedges over the other. It keeps everything fair for the global oil market. The UAE is pulled out of that, and so they're kind of a lone wolf, and they have the ability to do that. They have enough oil to do it. But the real issue now is, are other countries going to follow? Is Saudi Arabia next? We know Saudi Arabia is an opportunistic country that jumps on anything that seems like is fruitful for the future, and so maybe Saudi Arabia follows. And that could, at some point after a chain of events, lead to these countries not needing the United States, or more importantly, the petrodollar. And that's really, really important for the United States and our influence. And that's something you've been saying over and over time again. So that's also another scary thing. We'll see where that goes. But whatever these countries are saying to the media, I really would take it with a grain of salt, because imagine you're Mohammed bin Zayed. You were the king of the UAE, or you're the crown prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, and Prince Sultan Air Base, which is an air base in Saudi Arabia just about southeast of the capital, Riyadh, and their base got hit. Our AWACS system got hit, our E3. These countries have been hit with strikes from Iran, or even maybe their air forces, some reports suggest. And so they are likely very frustrated. And maybe they're working under the table to set something up for the future so they don't have to depend on the United States anymore. At the same time, Iran is talking with China. Iran is talking with Russia in front of the media. They're not hiding it. Abbas Araghchi was all over the news the other day, hopping off of the plane on the tarmac in Russia, meeting Putin.
Yep.
Okay, same
Which
thing
is
in
a big
China.
deal.
China has been very public about their strategic relationship with Iran for 25 years now, and they called for the war to end, and they said that Iran has the right to defend itself. They condemned the attacks on February 28th. The Gulf countries as well wanted peace in the beginning. They only shifted towards fighting Iran because they were getting rained on with missiles and drones. But after this is all said and done with, and the storm has weathered, what is that going to look like for the United States? Are we going to be able to step back in and say, hey guys, we're back and we're going to defend you militarily? That is likely not going to be something we can exercise anymore. And that's what's also very detrimental about this war. And like we said, this serves Israel's interest. It doesn't serve our interest. Benjamin Netanyahu's not thinking about this. All he's thinking about is, I can't have Hezbollah in the north. I can't have Hamas in the Gaza Strip. I can't have the Houthis in Yemen. And I can't have the IRGC over east. So these all are issues that must be taken care of. I'm not worried about the United States. As long as they can give us weapons, we're good. So let's see. I have a couple chats here. I'll quickly read. I'm not going to have as many as you. One second. Culture Clips says, ask Myron, is he realizes that clavicular is the Gen Z Epstein? Okay, being grouped by billionaires using the same playbook. No, I disagree. I think clavicular just does not care about politics at all, bro. Yeah, Balkan Goy 14 says, I put bag in the fries. Thanks so much. Good name, by the way. 13th says, another W donation. Hey, thanks so much, bro, for the support. Appreciate that.
Why would I tell you that?
Why would I tell you that?
Why would I tell you that? I mean, he's got a point. Why would he say that?
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But, I mean, he kind of suggested in a moment because he talks about Central Command, so we'll see.
Spirit Airlines, what has been the holdup on a deal?
We're looking at it. We're looking at trying to help them. Something we're not looking to get involved with, but if we can, it's 14,000 jobs. We are, I would say we're driving a tough deal, but it's one of those things. We'll do it or we won't. We'll have something for you to sit here tomorrow.
Let me turn captions on for you guys because it's really hard to hear him.
Like the other lenders are balking. Do you think they'll get bumped down in priority?
Well, they will. We come first. Hey, you know what it is? USA first, America first. That's my fight. Including with airlines, including with Intel. You know, we made an Intel deal. You know that, right? We made about $40 billion on that. And someday Fox and Peter's going to talk about it. But we helped out Intel, and we ended up making $40 billion. So we're looking at Spirit different.
All right, that shit is unbearable. That audio is fucking unbearable. We'll let me go ahead and just play. Let me play some of this other stuff that I have here, because that is fucking painful, dude. Holy.
Yeah.
Let me.
Did you see Adam Mockler and Scott Jennings on CNN?
Yeah, I saw. I didn't see the full debate. I just saw him getting mad at him for fucking.
About 10 minutes, so we can watch that later.
Okay. Let me read some of these chats here. Okay, so we got here. We are taking Cuba from Urban Legend. Okay, Myron, turn it up. All right, W Dynamic Duo. Love you guys. Pause.
And you got to be a dimwit to not understand the Middle East is in ruins because of the question of Palestine. Like, that's what started everything. And then people still argue that Israel should have sovereignty through the entire land. It's like, you just don't get anything. You know, you got to be a dummy to, like, debating that is like, you got to take it 30 levels back. You got to start in, like, 1890 something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, honestly, if I even need to do that with you, are you debating in good faith or are you being paid? You know, so it just becomes increasingly frustrating when you see that rhetoric and it's fresh and it's coming out every day saying that this war is good and that Israel has the right. It's like, what are you talking about? You know, it's like how, and that doesn't mean you have to be like pro-Iran, you know, it doesn't even mean you have to be parallel with our views, but to be on the wrong side, it's never been easier to be right, I feel. And for somebody to still be wrong shows they're either paid or they're willfully ignorant. And to that, I feel like you just would have to be an idiot to try and debate it. But I don't know.
It's not just that, bro. It's just like, yo, like you guys are like, see, this is the other thing too that people need to understand, bro. Like, they're like going to a college campus and debating college students, right, is not the same as debating a sorry ass fucking influencer that sucks, that's trying to do it. Like, I get no benefit from that. Going on a college campus and doing debates is significantly different, and that's actual real content versus like, and I debate a multitude of different topics, by the way, when I'm on the college campuses. It's not just Israel, bro. Like, that's maybe one fifth of what I debate when I'm on college campuses. Like, that's because surprisingly, a lot of college students are like anti-Israel, by the way. So like going and talking about Israel on college campuses isn't the main thing, but like debating like some fucking wannabe guy that's like a cloud chasing loser, like there's no benefit to that, and that is going backwards. It absolutely is, and you're just a fucking retard for it. If you can't see how that's going backwards and how it's not the same as debating on a college campus, I can't help you. You're fucking stupid, and I really hate stupid people. Yeah. You're just that dumb. And you know, and I'll give you a little bit of charitability. Maybe you don't understand because you're not a creator, so you don't get it. But there's levels to this shit, bro. You can't just be sitting around debating every fucking moron on the internet that has a YouTube channel that wants to debate you. Like you water down your own brand, you water down yourself. Like that implies equality. This guy's a fucking nobody, bro. Like what's wrong with you? Yeah. Like and exactly. what do I get for spanking him? What do I get for spanking him, by the way? What would I get? I get nothing. If I demolish him, there's nothing to be gained at all. So shut the fuck up. Like, you didn't build up a platform to be able to be in a position to even make that stupid ass statement. It's so fucking annoying. It's ridiculous. Like,
yeah, if it's Shapiro, it's a different conversation, right? Like, that's worth it. But
like,
for somebody
what
who
the fuck
doesn't
do
have
I
a
look
large
like?
following,
Yeah, what the fuck do I look like debating Dinesh D'Souza on this topic? Cook him, and then go backwards to debate some retarded nigga that sits in his room with an Israel flag. Like, what is that gonna do for me? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Right? So, like, yeah, I have no problem with debating people on the topic, but it's like, bro, they gotta be worthy. Like, this nigga's gonna get all the benefit, I get nothing, even when I smoke him. Nothing. So shut the fuck up, dude. I hate stupid people. Like, this nigga's so retarded. J. Lou goes with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Louis says, appreciate you and your bro for the reals commentary on geopolitics, man. You red pill me and a whole lot of other people, even though you shadow banned me on Kick. I still support you. Yeah, you probably said some stupid shit, bro. I'll be honest with you. If you got shadow banned on Kick, then you probably said some dumb shit. Literally, Fiora, appreciate you. And then 49 in Ohio for gas. And like, you guys should know this already. Like, I have a very low tolerance for stupid people. Like, I really, really dislike stupid people. So like, the guy that made that comment before, like, you're literally retarded. And like, I hate dumb people, dude. It's literally the most annoying thing ever. So, anything you got, Ryad, on your end?
I have the CNN debate, which will be funny.
Okay.
And
here, I can pull it up.
That's really
what
it.
do I search on YouTube for it?
literally just type in Scott Jennings, and it should be one of the first results.
Scott Jennings? Okay.
Yeah, you'll see CNN's video. Yo, by the way, 60 Minutes cooked me the other day with copyright, man.
Did they? Yeah, they're bad. They're bad, bro. They're bad.
They're bad. It's the third one down, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It's titled.
Yeah, and this Adam Mockler guy is a lib retard as well. So we're supposed to do a debate with him and I forget who his partner was supposed to be, but they backed out against me and Andrew Wilson, and they backed out last minute, and I was like, all right, bro, like, whatever. And guys, like the video on YouTube for me, please. Okay, so I got this video here. This is a 60-day thing. We can skim through this real quick, and then we can go to the other one.
Here, as we take a live look over the Strait of Hormuz.
We're not going to watch this whole thing.
This has been a topic of discussion here over the past several weeks and really months.
And again,
we know that 60 days have now passed.
Vadafalls, thank you for the gifted sub, by the way. I see you for that. Vadafalls, and then also you got a couple kicks here. We got one from Rage Quit said, RIP Ryad's knee. Yeah, he got cooked. And then Vadafall says, Myron, keep doing what you do, bro. I'm in law enforcement. I really enjoy your coverage on criminal cases. I appreciate that, Vadafalls. I'm glad that you like the content, man. I'll be covering some of the criminal stuff here in a little bit after me and my brother do the geopolitical stuff.
Since the start of the U.S. operation against Iran, that is Operation Epic Fury, that means a 1973 War Powers Law would require congressional approval to continue past that deadline. Many Republicans maintain they will default to President Trump to determine what's next for the war. Senator Susan Collins of Maine has broken with those Republicans voting in favor of a War Powers resolution. She wrote on X in part, quote, "As I have said since these hostilities with Iran began, the president's authority as commander-in-chief is not without limits. The Constitution gives Congress an essential role in decisions of war and peace, and the War Powers Act establishes a clear 60-day deadline for Congress to either authorize or end U.S. involvement in foreign hostilities. That deadline is not a suggestion, it is a requirement," end quote. However, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth argued before a Senate committee.
Oh, very quickly.
Go
ahead, Myron. Let's take a look at this. This was the part of the interview on the White House lawn that I wanted to get to.
Okay.
So this is what he said about CENTCOM's suggestion to him, very quickly.
I'm in here yesterday. Was he briefing you on a different approach? Options. What kind of options? How would it look different?
There are options. I mean, do we want to go and just blast the hell out of him and finish him forever, or do we want to try and make a deal? I mean, those are the options.
Do you want to go blast the hell out of him?
I prefer not. On a human basis, I prefer not, but that's the option. Do we want to go in there heavy and just blast them away, or do we want to do something? They're a very disjointed leadership, as you can understand, Peter. Very disjointed. I mean, they...
So that's all I wanted to show. So apparently CENTCOM is suggesting that. Who knows if that's true, but I thought that was important to know.
Yeah.
You can put up with Fox video. Yeah.
That war, so that concerns.
So the question I would ask to you and to others is, what is the cost of a nuclear-armed Iran?
Yeah, Hegseth got baked, by the way.
This was crazy.
Got baked for
I was
like
reacting to this shit.
4 hours
It's wild.
straight.
The cost to the American people if the world's most dangerous regime has a nuclear weapon.
But the truth
See, that's the talking point they're always going to use, bro. The nuclear bomb shit.
is they don't want war coming to this shore. There's no evidence that we are safer because of this war. We did not have any evidence that Iran intended to imminently attack this country in any way, shape, or form.
All right, those were some of the remarks yesterday.
They definitely are not going to attack like
now, again,
us.
You are taking this live look over the Strait of Hormuz.
Bro, they told when we bombed them, they literally struck back and told us hours before, hey, we're going to strike you on this day at this time with this many missiles at this base. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, bro.
At this hour, as we continue to follow everything related to the operation. Now, while the ceasefire between the U.S. and Iran remains in effect, Iran maintains its chokehold on the strait. This live look provided there by marine traffic and a lot of questions, of course.
Good morning to you.
Good morning. Well, first off, I want to start by talking about this situation here with the Strait of Hormuz, a topic of discussion that you...
All right, let's go. I also saw this right here as well, which I thought was interesting.
Prevented.
If Iran's military is depleted, how is it damaging so many U.S. bases? Bro, it took them months to figure this out. Now they're finally coming out and admitting what we've been saying for months. Yo, they decimated the U.S. bases, dude. They destroyed them.
13 of them, non-operational. And hang on, really quickly, Myron. Who's that from, that video?
Which one?
CNN.
Yeah, CNN.
And the previous one that you were just watching, Fox. However, Fox has not been that bad. And this is the low that reality has now stooped to. The Democrats and everybody on the left are right about this war. And so all the accurate reporting that I'm seeing is from these outlets. It's like they're the only ones saying the right thing, which is painful.
It's painful, dude. It sucks.
But this harps on to the point that I've been making the last few streams. Can the right finally be honest with itself? It's so frustrating. You know, Alex Jones has said this war is stupid. Alex Jones says Trump is making a bad decision. And it doesn't mean you're a Trump hater. It doesn't mean you're a bleeding heart liberal. It's just, hey, condemn this war. I was saying the other day, a lot of the MAGA base is like, I don't want to condemn Trump because I don't want them to group me with the left. How dumb are you? That does not mean you're to the left. That does not mean you have to condemn this action.
Yeah.
You have to say that MAGA is making a mistake. Now, if they're paid, whatever, they're never going to actually switch.
And they don't want to lose access. A lot of it, Ryad, is like they don't want to lose
the White House.
Yeah, they don't want to lose access to the White House. They don't want to lose because there's like an in crowd, then there's an out crowd. If you criticize the president, you immediately get put in out crowd, and then you're not invited to certain things. And people don't want to lose that access.
But not even those people is who I'm referring to. They're a lost cause. I get that. That's fine. I'm talking about all of the commentators as well in between. I don't want to name so many people and start problems or drama, but there are so many people who are still commentating on this war and saying the wrong things. And it's like, dude, just give it up. You know, just give it up. It's over. This is a sinking ship, and you are destroying your credibility long term. People are going to look back in 4 or 5 years. And by the way, hindsight is 20/20. If this war seems bad now, it's going to seem even worse in like 10 or 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? Look at how bad Iraq looks now. This is going to look worse. So anybody that was voicing support for it and not condemning it is going to genuinely lose credibility as the long-term process effectuates. And that's what I've been saying. It's like, just give it up. Just give it up, bite the bullet. Obviously, there's people who have vested interests who are a part of MAGA, even Patrick Bet-David with the hotel situation, whatever. But there's just so many people that got to give it up. Dinesh D'Souza is another one. However, I don't know if he's got access to, you know, some exclusive features of the MAGA base or whatever. But it's just like, come on.
Yeah, he's
you
like
know
Trump's
it's wrong.
guy, so
it's
he's
like
not
you
going to
know
say
it's
anything.
wrong.
A lot of these guys, like I said, they don't want to lose access to the president or whatever, so.
Destruction. A CNN investigation discovering Iran has caused extensive damage to...
Yo, it's so crazy it took them months to figure this out, bro. I've been telling y'all we're 3 months early, 2 months early, chat. Like, we told y'all, yo, these bases are fucked up. And everyone's like, that's a lie. You guys are IRGC. You guys are IRGC propagandists. It's like, no, bro, they destroyed these places, dude. We've been told y'all, man.
Majority of the U.S.
Like, and this is what I'm trying to tell you. There's no way. I would be shocked if we were able to still maintain any type of presence in the Middle East after this, bro. The bases are cooked. Are they going to let us rebuild them? Probably not. And then those bases are the reason why they got cooked. So it's like we serve no benefit. And I think the UAE leaving OPEC, which is basically like kind of U.S. controlled, to be honest with you, it's a sign of them trying to diversify and get out of the energy market with oil, man. Like UAE wants to diversify and get into tourism and AI and make money in other ways versus being dependent upon oil. Saudi Arabia is trying to do the same thing. A lot of these countries aren't trying to be dependent on oil like that. And, you know, and guess what that does? That weakens the petrodollar. So who does that hurt? The United States. We're still very, very gas dependent, chat. Even though we make our own gas, right? We make a lot of gas. Think about it. Why is it that the volatility in the region still spikes our gas prices up so much? Because we are heavily reliant upon gas. Something like 50%. I was talking with Cyrus Jansen about this the other day on China. Very eye-opening interview. Like 50 to 60% of their cars are electric.
And they're better than Teslas.
And they're better than Teslas. So it's like, dude, like, you know, are we
They're
really
call
weakening
us communists,
China?
by the way.
Yeah, they are.
You can't say
they're
that,
about
Myron. They're going to call us communists now.
Yeah, they are, bro. They're about to, because we're telling the truth on this stuff. And it's like, dude, we want the best for this country. We got to tell y'all what it is. Bro, China's a real threat. This war is not hurting them as much as people are trying to tell you it's going to hurt them. The goal of this war was to hurt China and get rid of their cheap oil from Venezuela and Iran. They got it from Venezuela, but now we're Iran. Now we're stuck in a fucking political quagmire. So, you know, we actually ended up strengthening them. Oh, he was just there?
My buddy just went to China. Yeah, he went to China because he has construction business and whatever. And so he can outsource some cheap products there or whatever. And he had to go to like this convention, but he was there for about 10 days. And he told me, you know, I'm not going to go through all the details, but he told me pretty much in short, hey, Ryad, this country is ahead. It's not even a joke. They are ahead. And it's a matter of time until they're even with the United States. It's just the military aspect that's missing. And all these things he was explaining to me about how everything is a one-stop shop. They've got like an app for everything, like, you know, anything you can think of, you can do it with, you know, the tap of a button, and everything is so clean and controlled, and the technology is nuts. And of course, the U.S. is the best country in the world because it has soul. It's so much better than Europe, but it's just the fact that technologically China is so sound. It is a little bit frightening, you know, and it's advanced quickly. It was not like that 20 years ago. So.
Yeah. Army vet 43, thank you for the gift of sub, bro. Appreciate you.
Military sites in the region. Precise Iranian missile and drone strikes aided by sophisticated Chinese technology, hitting some of America's most crucial military assets in the Middle East. The extent of the damage unknown until now. Our Tamara Kablawi is out front.
Camp Buring, Kuwait. American soldiers enjoying a karaoke night at one of the biggest U.S. military hubs in the Gulf. That was then. This is now. A once bustling American microcity in the desert, nearly empty and heavily damaged after a weeks-long barrage of Iranian missiles and drones. One of many U.S. military facilities in the oil-rich Arabian Peninsula, targeted by Iran even as the U.S. and Israel pummeled this.
And this is the same base, by the way, guys, that got bombed by an Iranian fighter jet, FYI. Same base.
Islamic Republic.
Camp Buring in Kuwait.
Republic's large arsenal. So what impact have Iran's strikes had on America's footprint in the Middle East? A CNN investigation found evidence of unprecedented destruction. We can reveal that strikes damaged at least 16 U.S. installations across 8 countries. According to our analysis and sourcing, that's the majority of American military positions in the region, and some of them are virtually unusable now. A U.S. source familiar with the situation told us that they'd never seen anything like this at American bases, that these were rapid, targeted strikes using advanced technology. Iran's main targets? Multi-million-dollar aircraft, like this Boeing E-3 Sentry, which gave the U.S. a huge amount of visibility over the Gulf. It's out of production.
Yeah, and this plane, by the way, guys, has a big-ass radar on it, okay?
They had to replace it with the new P3... I think it's a P3 Poseidon. No, I think P3 Poseidon is for the ocean. They got to replace it with another fucking E3.
So obviously, yeah, it has like a big ass radar on it. So that would be used a lot of the times when jets are running operations to kind of identify what else is out there. It scans for it scans for everything, literally. It's a huge asset to the Air Force, and they don't make them anymore. So this was a big damage for us, man. Very bad.
And in today's money, it's worth nearly $500 million. Critical communications equipment. Look at these giant golf balls. They're known as radomes, and they protect satellite dishes vital for data transmission. In this base alone, Iran destroyed all but one of the radomes less than a month into the war.
Yeah, bro. Like, they were really fucking our shit up, man, that first month.
And crucially, radar systems. Highly sophisticated, expensive, difficult to replace, and critical to air defense. A second U.S. source, this one a congressional aide familiar with damage assessments, described these as the most cost-effective of the targets. Our radar systems, they said, are our most expensive and our most limited resource in the region. For U.S. allies in the region, there's a dilemma. In some ways, Iran's show of force makes the U.S.'s presence in the region even more necessary to Gulf security. But there's a new reality here, which is that U.S. military installations, previously seen as formidable fortresses, have turned into sitting targets. As a Saudi source told me, the war has shown Saudi Arabia, that's the U.S.'s longest-standing Arab ally, that the alliance with the U.S. cannot be exclusive, and it is not, in their words, impregnable. To get a sense of just how vulnerable U.S.
Definitely something you would not have heard even 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I know we live in a multipolar world, but the Middle East is something we need. We need to be in the Middle East.
Yeah. Myron, my interview is 8.8K views. Good, man. Congratulations. I'm glad that the people like it. Waylo, where are you and Ryad getting your info about the base being destroyed? Just came from Al Udeid Air Base, and it's running pretty normal, and CNN is accurate. I've been to that base in Kuwait. It's the size of a small city. Well, here's the thing. He said he just came from Al Udeid Air Base, and it's running pretty normal.
In Qatar?
Interesting. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's what he's trying to say. That's what he's trying to say.
Facilities have become. Have a look at this. It's the war room at Qatar's Al Udeid Air Base.
Oh, interesting.
The theater, command, and control hub for U.S. air power across 21 nations. Struck not just once, but twice. And according to a U.S. source, causing significant damage. The base had been largely evacuated.
And here's the thing, too. They also said that it was uninhabitable. So just because it's running like normal, bro, they're keeping you away from all the places that are damaged to the max. You know what I mean? Like they're not going to show you the extent of the damage. Also, keep in mind, bro, when you're like in the military or when you're in the government, you have what's called a need to know. Okay, so if you don't have a need to know about what was destroyed or what wasn't destroyed, you're not going to know, and they're not going to show you. So, bro, do you get paid your 7,000 or what? What's going on here? Something's off. Bro got that 7,000. Got the 7,000 shekels, man.
And Myron, actually, the Al Udeid base is running just fine. Like that was one of the first targets.
I just came from. He's saying, he said I just came from Al Udeid Air Base and it's running pretty normal. And CNN is accurate. I've been to that base in Kuwait. It's the size of a small city. Okay, buddy. Okay, we believe you. We believe you that the base is just fine and nothing happened, even though multiple organizations, and it wasn't just CNN, by the way, a couple of different organizations have come out and said that basically they're uninhabitable and they're pretty much destroyed. It just took them months to finally say that stuff.
And no casualties were reported. Iran's visibility over its targets has never been clearer. In 2024...
Yeah, and I mean, it's close by, dude. Like, yo, they don't even have time. Guys, if Iran shoots rockets and drones at, these Gulf states, they barely have time to respond. Do you guys not understand that, like, response time is, like, the biggest thing when it comes to air defense? Like, you need response time to be able to properly, identify, assess, and then shoot a rocket that will, intercept it. They don't have time like that, dude. Like, they don't have time. They're literally, here, let me show these guys, because a lot of these guys don't know, like...
And they're running low on the missile interceptor systems as well. And Qatar, where the Al Udeid base is located, just bought $4 billion worth of more defense missiles, which is how you know they were running very low, which is why Iranian missiles were actually penetrating the airspace. And it's a short distance, right across the Persian Gulf.
Like literally
and
right
Iran
here,
has
bro.
ballistic missiles. They're fast.
Like, look, dude, we're talking about just a little waterway separating them, dude. Like, this is like nothing for them to destroy these places. So this is easy. And then now a lot of their interceptors are cooked. So anyway.
To the Financial Times, Tehran secretly acquired a Chinese satellite known as the TEE-01B.
This is true. And a big reason why they got this was so that they don't have to worry about GPS. So during the 12-day war chat, they were using GPS and using other American technologies, which America was able, and the Israelis were able to hack into and hurt their ability to defend themselves during the 12-day war. So after the 12-day war, Iran gutted all their GPS-based stuff, anything that was American-based, and they switched over to completely Chinese. So that's also something important to realize, which obviously these Chinese satellites are pretty damn accurate because they're obviously spying on the U.S., an adversary.
A massive upgrade from
Vada Falls, thank you so much for the 10 gifted.
From its own set.
But yeah, guy, this dude, big whatever your name is, I'll just be honest with you, bro. Like, they're not going to tell you what it is because you're probably a lower level guy in the military. Sorry, dude. It's all need to know, and they're not going to show you the extent of the damage. Myron, I was fishing with my friends the other day, and they all drink. I've been sober for over a year, and it's annoying being around drunk people. Yeah, I know. Now you know why I don't do it. Young Dolph, I seen a post on X yesterday that Iran stated they will be doing the toll transactions in the real to be more self-sufficient and bring value back to the real and economy. Yeah, they are going to do that. It's been passed by their parliament, dude. It's law now. There's no way they're the Strait of Hormuz is always going to be a toll-based system from now on, and we are of ourselves to blame for that one.
Satellites. That means that Tehran went from looking at images of this quality to this. This is the first time America has fought an adversary with satellites that capture high-res imagery almost as detailed as its own. As the scale of the damage comes into focus, many will wonder whether America's presence, once a protective shield in the Middle East, has turned into its Achilles heel.
It is the Achilles heel. That's literally what it is now. It was there to protect, but it can't even do that.
Responding to our findings, a Pentagon official said that the Defense Department does not discuss damage assessments, but that U.S. forces remain fully
Of course not.
operational.
They're not going to confirm or deny anything, and they're going to obviously not tell you about casualties as well. There's way more than 13 soldiers dead. If you think there's only 13 U.S. casualties, you're a smooth-brained moron. Vatapals, thank you again for the 10 gifted, bro. Thank you so much. Real G in the chat, man. For all you guys that are brokies in the chat, say W Vatapals, man. Maybe he'll give you guys a sub. Oh, and then also, let me read this real quick. Sorry, guys. We got Jay Broco with the 20 bucks says W Myron. Appreciate you, my friend. And guys, if you donate on MyronGainsX.com, that website, that's where that goes to the college fund. That goes into, paying for the security and everything else like that. They're trying to charge me $20K, man. These guys are losers. Marley says, Myron is the realest ninja out there. Appreciate you. And then Marley, 271K with the 216. Appreciate you, my friend.
The same readiness
Real quick, I have
and
a
combat
chat,
effectiveness.
and this is a good point, actually. Zeno says, China's quality of food, quality of living, advancement in technology, as well as having a better education system and significantly less degeneracy than the West puts it on track to inevitably surpass us in the next decade. And unfortunately, unless we get an extreme change in leadership, that's likely the case. And so it's scary.
They're graduating more engineers and technicians. Like they're graduating way more people in STEM than we are.
And they have manpower, low-cost labor. They can produce things way better than we can.
Now, with that said, they do have problems, right? Their economy has some issues when it comes to real estate and some other things. But in general, man, they are closing the gap between us and them very quickly, right? What are our teenagers doing? Watching TikTok, becoming stupider. What are their teenagers doing? Becoming engineers, getting into STEM.
Yeah. And this is like just an IQ pill, man. Chinese people are smart as fuck.
They are.
Like they're just super. That's just what it is, So
they are, dude. And that's a big red pill for a lot of people.
We also understand from our sources that the vast majority of U.S. troops evacuated their positions in the Middle East, with many working from the relative safety of hotels and apartments in the Arabian Peninsula.
What stands out to you about all this?
Now, this is also important, too, for the guy that said that, I checked the all you dead bases, not whatever. Bro, that's why they had to move guys out and put them in hotels. And then that's why Iran kept, people were saying, why is Iran striking, civilian locations? Well, they were striking hotels because they knew that certain people from the intelligence components and from the military were getting hotels in certain places because they had to work there. They couldn't work in the base anymore. That's why they were shooting drones at certain hotels. So that's also something else. Someone has a link here with Iran. Apparently, they destroyed some weather things that we were involved in. So.
Well, Aaron,
it's obviously
what's interesting is that.
Go ahead. What was that?
No. I was just adding to what you said. I was just thanking somebody for a super chat. It's obvious that they were not actually targeting civilians, right? Like, how stupid or dense would you have to be targeting random Gulf civilians? No, they were obviously aiming for assets belonging to intelligence of the United States or Israel that were likely located in the region and the areas that they attacked. And obviously, the United States and Israel is not going to admit whether they were successful in targeting these people.
Yeah.
The U.S. intercept rate is likely somewhere in the 95% level right now. These look predominantly like drone strikes. That's our assessment, the Shaheeds that did this rather than Iranian ballistic missiles. But it does show if the intercept rate is somewhere around the 95% level, that 5% or so are getting through and they are having damage. So The system that the U.S. has in place is not foolproof. It's very good, but it's not foolproof. And I would just say, sort of big picture, if your shift to the Indo-Pacific with the PLA, the Chinese People's Liberation Army Rocket Force, U.S. bases across the region, Japan, Philippines, and other places, are going to be at much more severe danger than what we're seeing now in the Middle East.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when you talk about with the damage done by the drones, right, that the missile interceptor rate may be, exceptional. 5% can cause huge damage, but then there's the drones. You have done incredible reporting, you and all of CSIS, on the depletion of U.S. Offensive capabilities, missile inventories specifically as well. Trump was asked about that earlier today. Seth, I wanted to play part of what he said.
All over the world we have inventory, and we can take that if we need it. But all over the world we have tremendous amounts of inventory, the best. For instance, we're stocked and locked and loaded. Right now, we have more than double what we had when this started.
More than double what we had when this started, and tremendous amounts of inventory. I mean, what do you even make of such comments? Obviously false when it comes to things like Tomahawks, but what do you make overall?
Well, I think what's important is that not all missiles are created equal. I mean, one of the advantages the U.S. had over time in Iran was that it had air dominance. It could use short-range missiles like Joint Direct Attack Munitions, or JDAMs. The problem that the U.S. has in the Pacific right now is it's going to have to use long-range missiles because the Chinese have such extensive capabilities to hit targets in what we call the first and second island chains, like out to Guam. And there, the U.S. stockpiles of long-range munitions, like Tomahawks, like JASSMs, like long-range anti-ship missiles, LRASMs, they are in very limited supply right now, and the same thing with the interceptors. So what really matters in this discussion is not missiles per se. It's not helpful to talk about missiles in general. It's the missiles you need to deter in specific.
Yo, this Evan 1904 guy in the fucking OSS chat, bro, like, yo, you're literally on the verge of getting kicked out, bro. Like, keep fucking talking, dude. You're literally on the verge of getting kicked out of the community. Keep being a fucking dumbass.
Situations.
Which I think is just so crucial. What you lay out there is so important, and it's important for Americans to understand all of this and the truth. Obviously, what he said there is at best extremely misleading about something so important for national security. He also talked today, Seth, about something about Iran, right? What does Iran really have left? Okay, the military, and he was very specific. Here he is.
We get the radical left to say, we're not winning. If we're not winning, they don't have any military left. It's unbelievable. It's actually, I believe it's treasonous. Okay, you want to know the truth? It's treasonous.
And he said that Iran they've got nothing left. Okay, you've looked specifically at that, and you found that Iran does still have a lot left when you look at drones, you look at missile launchers.
And real quick,
Aaron,
I've also read...
Look, and they've rebuilt a lot of the stuff, man. Go ahead.
They rebuilt, and they're digging through rubble to uncover a lot of their missiles that Israel and the United States intentionally tried to cover up with strikes in the beginning of the war. They're currently in the process of digging that out as well. So they still got a good stockpile left, and they still got a whole nother round in them. Of course, it's going to be way worse for them than it is for us at home, but we can't say the same for our Gulf allies.
No question, first of all, that Iran has its capabilities across the boards are degraded. The video you showed of U.S. bases, what the extent of the damage in Iran is much more significant than what U.S. bases have received. Nevertheless, despite that damage, the Iranians have hid stuff underground, so they still have 40% or so, our assessment, of their drone capabilities left, and then maybe 60% or so of their missile launchers. So they do still have the capability to fire missiles and drones, and that makes them still a dangerous adversary. And as you just noted in your reporting, they're getting help from the Chinese, and I would add the Russians as well.
All right. Seth Jones, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
So here's something else I have. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Real quick, I'll show you guys this. All right, look at this. Ryad Air Base power plant, right? Because I got a guy in my chat here. He says, if you've never been there and I have, how would you know more than me? The Chili's was still open. Okay, fat ass nigga. Of course you're gonna say the Chili's is open. Here's the thing, look, Ryad Air Base power plant. Just because your fat ass was able to get into the Chili's doesn't mean that the base wasn't still fucking destroyed to some degree, bro. See, this is right here. Look at this.
And like, if the dude lives there, I mean, yeah, the base obviously isn't completely destroyed. Like the runway, what the? Dang, relax, dude. The runway is probably still working and stuff. Obviously, shit's still capable of like running, you know, operationally. But it's probably just certain aspects of the base that's like gotten blown up by a missile or something. So.
And this is a power plant. This is something that's actually very important. This nigga over here talking about the Chili's was open. What the fuck? Like that matters. Like what?
Yeah, and obviously if they're going to use
retarded, bro.
to strike the base, they're going to hit the part of the base that can't afford to be struck.
Like, bro, you think they're going to target the Chili's, you stupid nigga? Like, yo, what the fuck? This nigga really said, hey, yo, it's still functioning because the Chili's was open. Shut your dumb ass up.
Yeah, that dude's 11 Bravo. He's stupid.
The Chili's is still open. I was able to get some Chili's. So it's okay. So it's still fully functioning, okay? Like, bro, and this nigga's name is Big Nigga, man. Like, yo, clearly you're a fucking idiot, bro. Like,
hello, monkeys.
Nigga retarded. Bro really said, how'd you know more than me? The Chili's was still open. That's your barometer of the place still
like
being
Iran
fully
is
functioning.
going to aim for the Chili's. Like Iran is in the war room and they're like, all right, we're going to aim for the Chili's. No, they're going to aim for the fucking power plant, the part that's critical for the operation of the base, you dumbass. That's why it was evacuated before the war started, because the United States knew that would happen. Actually, it's operational.
This nigga retarded, bro.
And you better bet your ass, if we strike Iran again, and we're going to strike hard, that base is really going to get hit.
Yo.
There won't be no Chili's anymore, nigga. If Donald Trump listens to Central Command like he was saying on the White House lawn, ain't gonna be no more Chili's.
Yo, nigga really came in here and said, yo, the base is still normal. The Chili's is open. Like, what the fuck? Stupid ass nigga, bro. Yo.
Have a Chili's there? That's crazy. Is the dude trolling? Like, no way.
Yeah, they have a Chili's. That's a normal thing. They have like Chili's, Texas Roadhouse sometimes, McDonald's, Five Guys, Burger King. I don't know if they have a McDonald's. It's not. But yeah, they got that. Charlie's, Subway, usually. Popeyes, usually. Yeah, just all the usual suspects. Baskin Robbins.
All right. Tonal says, here's my tribute. Jarhead, it says, KIA. 2,200 IDF killed in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah, 2,093 wounded in action. They don't know. But yeah, crazy, dude. Roughly 2,200 IDF killed in action. Okay, Only Hardcore says, sorry if you went over it already, but what do you think about the high-definition video of the White House Correspondents' Dinner showing the guard dog alert the shooter in the room and then immediately bolt out? I did not see that footage. Extortion Gaming. This is a video that explains how Iran destroying weather modification machines built by the U.S. and now their dams are overflowing. I did hear about that. Red Pill Winner. Hey, just wanted to tell you that I ditched one of my women because she wanted to go play poker in a basement. You two are the most base brothers I know. She wanted to play poker in a basement?
What the fuck? You dating a man?
What?
What the fuck? That is
You know
the
what
most
she was probably gonna do?
endeavor I've ever heard.
You know what she was gonna do? She's probably gonna be a waitress or a cocktail waitress for one of these poker games. There's a lot of like illegal poker games where girls will serve
that makes more
at them. That's probably what she wanted.
Yeah, a girl playing poker in some basement. That is like a 45-year-old dad activity.
This retard in here says, when was the last time you were there? How big is the base? Then he goes, I'm a Marine combat veteran. You haven't done shit. Bro, you're a chili eater veteran, bro. That's what you are.
Combat veteran, and I ate that chili.
Yeah, this nigga over here saying like, I'm a Marine combat veteran. You haven't done shit. He goes, when's the last time you were there? How big is the base? Nigga, you're retarded. You literally used the fact that Chili's was open as a barometer of if the base was hit. Like, you're fucking retarded, nigga. No, you nigga said I'm a combat veteran. No, you're a fucking chili veteran, clearly. Because the nigga went right to Chili's and used that to justify.
The base is open. I eat at Chili's.
Stupid ass nigga.
Right, bro. All right, buddy.
Nigga was like, hoorah, Chili's open, let's go. Fucking retarded ass nigga, bro.
I don't know if that's even real.
Stupid ass nigga, bro. Retarded as fuck.
Endless trolling.
Does Chili take EBT, Myron? Clearly, because this dumbass nigga was there. Oh, shit, man. Yo, nigga really used the fact that Chili was open as the reason.
Hey, man, these jarheads, bro. These Marines, bro. Just, yeah. They're the same as 11 Bravos sometimes.
As to how, to justify him being, that it was fine. Oh, man.
Chili sounds good right now, man. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Well, okay. What's the next thing? Did you have something you want to show?
Have that vote.
I had the CNN thing. I had Trump on the White House lawn. I was also going to go over the fact.
Oh,
that
the debate. You wanted the debate, right? You wanted the debate, right?
Yeah, and then we could cover it tomorrow. To be honest, it's not the biggest news, but Israel intercepted an aid ship en route to Gaza off the coast of Greece and subdued or really held, I think, 175 people. And Zohran Mamdani actually tweeted about it on X. But I have a video here by ABC Australia. Funny enough, this made like no mainstream news, unsurprisingly, but literally I could not find the story anywhere, like good coverage on it. But, you know, it's kind of obvious. It highlights Israel's greater plan. They won't even allow food or aid. And then Benjamin Netanyahu on X said, well, you know, the ship was there to support Hamas. Like, okay. So we could talk about that, but let's do the debate first.
All right. Oh, hold on.
Law. Who's enforcing international law? Who is the aggressor here?
Us. We are the aggressor.
Okay, can you name a single political concession we've gotten from them? Anything at all? Are you talking any political concession? So you can't name one. So here's what we're doing. No political concession. When you get up past your bedtime, you get hyper. Here's the deal. We
are.
You can call piracy in like if words don't have any meaning, but like we have sanctions against these vessels.
Yeah, I'll tell you this: when it comes to like progressives in social media, they're dominated by soy boys like Mockler, Luke Beasley, Dean Withers, like just completely dominated by these strange individuals that can't grow facial hair.
Not going name one political concession. Name one political concession.
To lose your cool like that on air is
yeah.
really
Well, his hand wasn't even
aura.
in his face, but
yeah.
Evening, I'm Abby Phillip in New York. Tonight, a new question. Just how popular is this war with Iran? President Trump says that the war with Iran could take days at first if he wanted to, but then he said it would be weeks. And now he says that now that it's carried into its third month, despite higher gas prices at home.
This stupid ass nigga says, give us proof then. Bro, you're the one making a claim. I just showed you proof of Al Udeid being fucked up.
Yeah.
You're the one over here talking about Chili's is open as shit,
you.
dumbass.
Yeah, the burden of proof is upon you and Chili's. Take a selfie from Chili's and send it over to us.
Yeah, nigga, send us a picture of Chili's over there, man. And what you ordered, okay?
I'm pretty hungry. I'm pretty hungry.
Stupid. Dude's name is Big, well, I'm on YouTube, I can't say it, but anyway, yeah, bro is retarded. Nigga literally said, I went to the base and Chili's is open, so that means they weren't destroyed. Bro, you're the one making a claim. We're showing you many reputable news sources have said that the base have been destroyed, which they have been. Okay, nigga said, oh, it seemed normal when I went there. Yeah, they're not gonna fucking show you that shit, bro. You're probably like a E nothing Marine. Like, dude, like, nigga, you're a low-level guy.
You're raving about Chili's. No way you're high ranking. And also, way to get hung up on the trivial shit. Like, I hate people who are so patent like that. Oh, but the Chili's is still open. Hey, dumbass, we're in a losing war, okay? Did you miss the bigger point there? Like, why point out such a petty fact? I hate hypercritical dumbasses. Like, one thing is not explained in great detail. Now it's, but the Chili's. Okay, can you actually explain what we're trying to tell you here? Like, what are you hung up on? So silly.
Yeah, and then
13 bases in the region. A lot of them have been destroyed to the point where they're not beneficial anymore. They've offered no defense. They're there to defend those countries. They're there to give them military assets. That's how we can leverage ourselves in the Middle East. They no longer have served the purpose that they exist for. That's bad because when this is over, they're not going to trust the United States again. That's what we're telling you, and you're over here hung up on Chili's. This is why I hate people who are hypercritical and patent. Like, what are you talking about? Like, way to be nitpicky about such a stupid fact. You're like, the brazen aspect we've been trying to harp on for the last 6 weeks. Like, this has been 2-3 months now this conflict has been going on, is the Gulf allies will suffer. And as a result, the United States will lose influence. And then at the same time, China's building cars that mog Tesla, taking the Mexican car market out of commission. And this is what you have to talk about? Like, we've got bigger fish to fry. Nigga, you over here talking about Chili's, nigga.
Yo, and not only that, you know how I know this nigga's a retard? Yo, you're in the OSS too, bro. I'm ashamed that you're fucking this stupid and you're in the OSS. He said, give us proof. Nigga, you're the one that made the claim. We showed you our side. We've been telling you forever that the base has been destroyed. Now, several reputable media sources have reported that the bases are destroyed. And then I showed you a video of the power plant being destroyed, which is a critical infrastructure that powers the fucking base, retard. And then your dumbass want to sit here and talk about, Chili's is open, show me proof. You're the one making the claim. We've shown our proof, retard. That's how I know you're an idiot. Like, nigga literally came in here and said, show us proof. Nigga, you're the one that made the claim. We showed you our proof, so show yours, dumb fuck. Show us the Chili's.
Unbelievable.
Show us the Chili's, idiot. Fucking dumbass. Like, this I can tell you're a retard. The fact that you use Chili's as proof just tells me that you're an idiot. You know? Holy shit. No critical thinking skills whatsoever. Stupid nigga, bro.
When plummeting polls at home as well, Pete Hegseth is saying that America is right behind the president.
When I talk to Americans, and especially when I talk to the troops, they are grateful for a president who has the courage to take on this threat after 47 years of what Iran has done, targeting and killing Americans.
No.
What I'm concerned about is
this is just like, I gotta say this is such an opportunity. Israel is grateful that Trump was the first president dumb enough to actually start a regional mess with Iran. That's what
that is
the
facts.
real thing is there. No one's thankful for Trump starting this war.
Yeah, nope. The only people that are in support of this war are people who are incompetent, don't pay attention to what's going on in the news, and just MAGA-tards and dual citizens. That's really it. And honestly, that's not a lot of people. Maybe max, maybe 10 million people in the United States. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't pay attention to the media, obviously. But, okay, maybe 30 million. But the rest, nobody fucking really supports this war, so.
And then here we go. It says, it's funny because our power plant went down in 2011 there on Qatar's grid. All right, nigga. Now I just know you're a retard, dude. Now I know you're just a fucking retard. I show you the video and then this dude talking about some other shit. You're a stupid dude. Dude is literally a retard. I hate stupid people, bro.
Are not safer, and I would just like to know why you have not sought the support of the American.
Nigga's so retarded, bro. Show him fucking clear-cut evidence of the base getting bombed and damaged, and then this nigga want to talk about the power plant went down in 20. What? Shut the fuck up, dude. You're so stupid.
People, and 3 out of 5 Americans are against this war today.
I believe we do have the support of the American people, and we have briefed regularly what this mission looks like and why it's critically important that we undertake it.
You don't care whether
When the American people
support this war.
the American people are quite smart. They understand and see through spin. They know that
Vada Falls, thank you for the 10 gifted, bro. Appreciate you greatly, man. Vada Falls says, guarantee you he drives a Camaro with 40% APR.
Yo, that shit's facts, bro. It's facts.
And then, these niggas are cooking it. Mr. Dreamy said, nigga said Chili's open. The Thads are working. Yo, niggas are cooking them in the chat, bro. Niggas said a Camaro with 40% APR is fucking hilarious. Probably does have a Camaro. Yo,
that is some military nigga shit, though. Military niggas always buy some
yeah.
American muscle car with an insane APR rate, and they're paying it off for 50 years in negative equity. That is actually like the case. Like, they get that big check from the military at the end, and they come back and buy a Hellcat, and they're paying it off until they die. Like, that is actually the case many, many times. That's like the meme. It's like a nigga join the army, nigga get a Dodge SRT, come back. Like, that is a part of the meme.
Yeah. Well, they don't do it when they come back. It's when they get a bonus for re-enlisting, and then they go out and buy some fucking car. At least in Europe, when I lived in Italy, they would go buy like M3 competitions and stuff like that. But I guess if you get a bonus here, yeah, you're probably gonna buy a fucking Camaro or fucking Charger.
Oh.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Your choice of car is a litmus test, bro. You buy an American muscle, man. You either know more with cars or you're
next time you go to Qatar, let me know what you see. Nigga, nobody's talking about that, you dumbass. Like, he's over here talking about, next time you go to Qatar, let me know what you see.
Qatar is fine.
This nigga
People
retarded,
there are
bro.
fine. Country's not in danger. We never said that.
This nigga retarded, bro. I should have known from the Chili's comment to show me the proof to when we already showed the proof him not showing any of his proof, this nigga's retarded, bro.
And this is only the information we have access to. Who knows what the United States is hiding? By the way, from you as well, because you're obviously not important. You
they want to keep morale high, nigga.
You're not gonna get good intel.
They're gonna give your fat ass to Chili's, bro. Like, of course, nigga, they don't want morale to be low. So the first thing they're gonna do is open up the Chili's, dummy.
Did the base get destroyed? No, here's some Chili's. Shut up. That's literally what it was with you. Get that nigga Chili's, and then he'll put his down payment on his Camaro. Yo, we're cooking this dude. Hold on, I got to chat here. Shady, thank you so much for the 20, my friend. He says, we're in a time where these imbeciles like Vance and Hegseth make me miss war criminals like Cheney and Rumsfeld. You can tell the quality has gone downhill. It's like living in a shitty TV show. Yo, that's actually kind of true. They're doing a way worse. And look, it's because they're telepathing what they're doing. We had the Iraq war as a prior mistake. And so we know what we're doing now is detrimental to our future. You know, so that's why Rumsfeld and Cheney kind of looked a little bit smarter, because this war on terror thing was fresh. Osama was really like a badass nigga. Like, he was bad as fuck. That was a very bad guy. It was an evil villain. So he was the perfect person to put against the United States, or pit against the United States, as like this villain we must defeat. And to the credit of the United States, he was evil. And so we had to take him out of commission. So they had so much more bragging rights. The IRGC doesn't really like have that. Right? They never really attacked the United States. There was no 9/11. There was no like crazy war on terror thing. The bombings in the 90s. There wasn't any of that, you know, whereas now, or there was a ton of that in 2001, whereas now we don't have any of that. So yeah, Hegseth and Rubio and Vance and Trump, they really look a lot dumber than the previous Bush administration looked, because at least it was bought by the populace, and at least it was not something that, you know, we had made a mistake on before. And this is what they say now. They say, let's not overcorrect the issue of the Iraq war. No. Let's actually overcorrect it, because regime change in the Middle East has proven to be unsuccessful for years. It's never worked, especially from the air. Look at what we've done to every single country. So, you know, it's not that I'm a non-interventionist, but certainly in the Middle East, I would say I'm a non-interventionist, because it's done nothing. And look, if we're getting involved in the Middle East, what's the real purpose? What's the greater idea there? It's typically just to support Israel and bolster their defense, right? And keep countries at bay from actually attacking them. Because we all know if the United States stopped supporting Israel out of nowhere for any given reason, the sky would be black the next day. So it's really just a matter of us playing cover for them and keeping them in existence. Devontae, thank you so much for the 20. He says, yo, Ryad, I'm 24 and I just enrolled into college and I'm planning on going to med school and becoming a doctor, but being a doctor takes a long time. So I am fine, or is it too late? No, Devontae, do that. Do that. If you're serious, go be a doctor, bro. Go be a doctor. It's going to take a while. You're probably going to be in school for maybe 9-10 years. Do that. I have a lot of respect for people in the medical field, and you'll make a ton of money. It'll be worth it once you're older, and there's no more of a prestigious position than saving lives or, you know, being involved in medicine. So God bless you, bro. Go for that. Go for that. If you're being serious, absolutely go for that. I'm a big believer. Look, college is useless, but, you know, we're talking engineering, computer science to some degree, software engineering, the medical field. I'm all for that. Absolutely go for that, man. That's elite human capital, as we like to say. Go ahead, Myron. Sorry.
No, as someone in the chat, Battlefall said, Myron, he's the type of nigga to play games on a tablet at the Chili's. Yo! And then someone said here, Joe Hayden said, Ryad is right. It's always the E2s and E3s who do it too. He's talking about the cars. The Fifth Elemental guy says, Chili's! And then Army vet says, even military towns overseas, they target soldiers with American muscle cars. All in 24 says, Myron, are you coming to UCI just for the student or public to get in? I think I'll be at UCI. Thoughts on Myron's jacket with the Helly Hansen? Oh yeah, you know what it is. And then you guys made me spill my drink with the Camaro 50% APR. Yeah, bro, that's what these niggas be doing. The people were making fun of him. I want my baby back ribs. Just roasted him in the chat,
Dude,
bro.
Camaro is just an L car. Like Mustang, we can talk about it, but Camaro is like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, bro. If I meet somebody and I see they have a Camaro, immediately sub 100 IQ off the bat. It's genuinely a litmus test. That's such a just shit car.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
The dude doesn't even have a Camaro. We're roasting him so hard. We're just assuming he has a Camaro with 40% APR, which he likely does.
He probably does say the dumb shit that he's saying, bro. Nigga said, prove it. When it's like, you made the claim, now you gotta prove it.
It says,
show us your Chili's, bro.
Death to America that seeks nuclear weapons and the
at
ability
what
to
cost?
deliver. Did they lie about the range of their missiles?
Yeah, Pete Hegseth wasn't acting macho. He was playing a macho person on TV. He is not actually macho. We are dealing with a war that is failing on a daily basis, as Donald Trump has taken his too.
Bro, it pains me I gotta fucking agree with soy boys like this fucking guy, bro. Like, you know, fat-faced losers. But he's correct.
Because he was performing. It was a performance for
He's the
Donald
expert.
Trump.
Didn't you know?
I mean, Donald Trump is very impressive. He's taken his two largest campaign promises, no new wars and lower prices, and inflation, and he's messed both of them up. He started...
Dude, like, all he's he's just giving these guys so much ammo, man. It just pisses me off because it's like, you know, I voted for Trump, so this is painful. This sucks.
And what did I say as well? Trump starting this war gives Democrats jet fuel to win in the midterms as well as in 2028. What better bragging right would you have in the debate stage than to say that the guy across from you was a part of an administration, presumably Marco Rubio or J.D. Vance, was a part of an administration that started a forever war in the Middle East in which we achieved no goals. Again, remember, we started this war saying no missiles, no nukes, no proxies, and even no regime. Trump flirted with that as well, loosely. Now it's, can you please open the Strait of Hormuz? Please open the Strait of Hormuz. It's like, you know, we've lost everything. So these guys, whether in good faith or bad faith, and it's not because they're geopolitical experts, it's because it's easy for them to oppose Trump in this matter, are going to weaponize this moving forward, and it's going to work for them. It's going to work very well for them. Very quickly, Massad's honeypot, okay, says, that nigga dodged the ballistic missile, and then he wanted to tell you how good that triple dipper from Chili's was.
Yo, I knew they were gonna. Yo, I knew the challenge was gonna cook this nigga, bro. Like as soon as he said, "Hey, it's not. There's nothing wrong. The Chili's is open." I was like, "They're gonna bake this guy, bro." He hasn't commented nothing since, bro. Like y'all niggas are hurting his feelings, man. Niggas are putting like baby back. I want my baby back ribs from Chili's and all that. It's just like, bro. So boosted. Said it. What does nigga say? Is he cooking them too? What's even worse, they get the base models with V6 with 1K car payment. Usually they also marry stripper to get the extra money to pay for it.
Bro.
They don't even get the V8, bro. I think what is it, LS in there?
Yo.
Yeah, bro.
Yo.
Oh, man, dude.
They come back and buy the base model muscle car that literally has like nothing except a steering wheel and wheels on it and a V6 engine that has no power. It's like, bro.
Yo.
That's genuinely like the military structure 101. Go to the military.
Bro.
Collect a bunch of money, come back and buy a stupid muscle car.
That's crazy, man. That's fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Mr. Drippy, thank you for the gifted.
A new war that spiked inflation, and now this war is actively failing. An interesting statistic is that Americans have spent collectively $23 billion extra on the gas pump, and that's money that could have gone towards daycare, towards childcare. We'll sit here and you'll laugh at Americans spending money, but the reality is we are failing this war. The purpose of a war is to extract political concessions from the enemy. Can you name it?
True. It's to push your... If diplomacy fails, it's to push your political whim on them.
A single political concession we've gotten from them?
None. Damn, bro. This pains me that it's like this fucking soy boy is making more sense than everybody else. Yo, I think your screen is frozen. Or is it frozen? No, never mind. It's not frozen. Vatafall says, Myron, this nigga's so cooked right now, he's never going to Chili's again, RIP. Yeah, bro is done with Chili's after that. He's never going to mention Chili's again after this one, man.
Anything at all?
Or are you talking
any political concession? So you can't name one.
So here's what we're doing.
No political concession.
When you get up past your bedtime, you get hyper. Here's the deal. We have a clear issue here. We have a clear issue here. No nuclear weapons for the largest state sponsor of terrorism in
Oh, man.
Dude, he's got to memorize it.
He's got to memorize,
He's not even thinking.
He's good.
His mouth is moving without his mind.
Yeah, actually, I was going to say, he actually said it very smoothly.
Yeah, it's muscle memory.
This nigga said, oh, here we go. He says, I'm not in anymore. I'm a contractor with Raytheon. Got out of the USMC in 2012.
Then what do you know?
What do you know?
What do you know then? You haven't been in the military for over 10 years. What the fuck do you know then? Why are you? It's just bait. But look, I'm happy you chatted that because
Well, he's probably there. Like Raytheon does have, what's it called? I guess you could say buildings or infrastructure in these other countries. So he does have a point. Maybe they probably just don't understand that.
I had a really good time cooking your ass. That was actually a good comedic relief. from a rather serious situation that we're reporting on. So thank you so much, Mr. 40% APR triple dipper. Dumbass. Someone said, Ryad, I got a Camaro V8. Yeah, V8 is a little bit more of a W. I don't like muscle cars, but I'll give you your credit there.
Oh, man. Okay, what dates are coming to UCI? I'll get them for you guys right now.
World. Period.
UCI?
Full stop. The president believes, and he may be right.
University of California, I think, is what he's asking.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna get the dates here for you all.
University of California, Irvine.
Paul says, I'm about to clap this nigga's cheeks if he says another super chat. Hey, he already did,
yo.
bro. He already did. He said he left the UFC in 2012. He's a contractor with Raytheon. So, like, bro, if you're a contractor with Raytheon, nigga, they're definitely not gonna tell you shit. Like, what are you talking? Shut up. Like, what the nigga? Nigga, you can only go to certain parts of the debates, and you like what, bro?
I spoke to a retired Rear Admiral today, Mark Montgomery, who's at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. They think.
Okay. May 13th, UCLA, May 29th, UCR, June 2nd, UCI. So these are the schools that were, these are tentative, guys. These are not 100%. May 13th, UCLA, May 29th, UCR, June 2nd, UCI.
The blockade is actually more effective than the military campaign. And a little patience on the blockade here, where we cripple the Iranian economy, where...
Dude, it's gonna take, weeks, if not months, to get the desired effect that they want.
Cool. All right. I'm done. I kind of want to go to sleep now. They be going for like fucking hours, especially Myron be going fucking 10 hours sometimes. But hope you guys enjoyed it. I didn't talk much because I kind of agree with basically what they're saying, and it's a live well, I guess podcast. So yeah. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment and a like down below, and I'll catch you guys later.